Latest on Super Typhoon Jebi, which has rapidly intensified in the last 24 hours as expected. But it's still strengthening, and it's got winds of 165 miles per hour according to Force 13's latest satellite estimations, and a pressure around 915 millibars. It's passed very close to the island of Pagan in the Northern Mariana Islands and is a stage 8 on the CDPS scale. Catastrophic damage is likely for any areas that the storm passes over. Thankfully, Pagan has been uninhabited for several years, only 32 miles away from that island now, and 69 miles from Agrihan, a little bit further from Saipan. 543 miles if you're starting to tick down to Iwo-to in Japan. That's the closest point of Japan to the storm that's inhabited. Typhoon warning remains in effect for Agrihan, Pagan and Alamagan in the Northern Mariana Island chain, and high surf and small craft advisories in effect for Saipan and Tinian. So this is what we expect for Jebi over the next few days in terms of looking at what's going on. You can see the storm approaching from the bottom of your screen as we enter the weekend, and there it is, still well structured and pushing through towards the northwest. And according to this, the GFS model at least, the recurve will happen slowly, far too slowly, for the storm to avoid Japan, and Japan could see a serious storm landfall early next week. It is still some distance away, and this could change quite drastically. Sea surface temperatures, if you're wondering on that potential approach, 28 or 29 degrees Celsius, certainly warm enough to sustain a storm like Jebi, maybe not at its current intensity, but still as a very powerful storm later on. And this is now what we're looking at in terms of the wind field. Another look at the storm here, as again approaching from the bottom, you can just about see the Ogasawara Island chain to the right of Jebi, and on the left hand side the Daito Islands there on Sunday making its closest approach, and then as we enter the new week into Monday, the storm approaching the main Japanese islands, and according to GFS, other models will say differently, a potential landfall on Tuesday, possibly as a major typhoon. So that's something we're watching out for some time here over the course of this weekend. These are already the chances of tropical storm force winds: 39% on the Daito Islands, and a little bit higher actually in central Japan, 46% in Osaka and 42% in Nagoya, with slightly higher chances along those exposed coastlines. So it's taken the models by surprise. I don't really know how, given that this storm has been rapidly intensifying for some time, but as you can see, none of the models have come close to what Jebi has actually done. Wind shear remains very low, so further intensification is still possible and is probably occurring as we speak. And there again, the models starting to close in there on that track forecast. Less uncertainty and a landfall for Japan starting to look more likely at this time. This is how the storm has actually looked in the last few hours as it passed through the Northern Mariana Islands. You can see it there passing through the chain very close to the island of Pagan. That is the one just ever so slightly to the north of the eye of Jebi. And those who are familiar with this imagery, it's quite a small eye. The temperature inside that eye is around 15 Celsius above freezing, which is a good indication of a decently strength storm in terms of major typhoons at least, and certainly worth the Category 5 tag that it's got, and we'll have more updates on this storm as it progresses. You can follow Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com, with you at any time. You can also find our YouTube page if you're not there already, subscribed hopefully, and you can also follow our Facebook page, search Force 13 all in text. Videos are now there as well, and you can follow us on Twitter at Force 13 is our handle, and it's hashtag F13 Sulik if you'd like to draw our attention to anything in future live events or whatnot. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron with its various rewards that come with that feature as well. And you can add me personally, Fool13 at extension 9094 on Discord, and Force13 on Skype for tropical weather chat.